Welcome to another episode of Old Grumblers podcast. Today, with us, we have Damners in one of the corners, maybe, and me, Nerders Fed's cat, Charlie. Also, Monster, who you can't see because his web camera doesn't work. Look at this camera.
Can I just say that if that cat could stream, it would be a much bigger streamer than you.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it probably would. For a lot of reasons, honestly.
I'll send you a loop of him looking in the camera. You can use that.
And well, today we're going to be talking about
Siege beta.
the Siege beta, the Clash, Total War Clash that's coming up, and the quality of life changes that's going to come up, and the normal inane babbling that we do that is very entertaining, yet
Highly irrelevant.
I mean, I don't want to like punch down too much on us. So I mean, like it's just good babbling, I guess.
I like being punched down.
Bet you do.
So the Siege beta, Fred, I know that you played a decent chunk of it.
Yes, I have. I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. And I just wanted to go even harder on it. For those of you who are not familiar with this, what they essentially did was remove all the ladders that are spawned by the walls, right? The pocket ladders, aka the ass ladders, aka I hate them. And just basically made it so that you can have siege engines much faster. You can have a battering ram and 2 siege towers in one turn. You can also build ladders, which is one of those old-timey things where they just go up with the ladders up towards the wall. And they also made the walls a little bit tougher. And they made the towers shoot the towers on the walls 10% more damage, but 40% less range. Which, I mean, if you really think about it, like the gates, for example, more health. I think Venris told me that trolls, instead of like 40 seconds, needed 48 seconds. So a lot of the stuff is like bonkers anyway. It's like a horrible regeneration, right? Where if you have like half health and you want to model back, it's going to take something like 2 minutes without taking damage inside a melee to actually resurrect the dude. It's just like some of the stuff doesn't it's kind of crazy. Have you guys tried it at all?
I've been too busy with the mods, but I'm reading this. It's quite. I honestly thought it was a little more expansive than this. Like the balance changes. So yeah, you don't have ladders. You can build ladders. Attrition's been changed. The siege attacker trait has been taken off a lot of people, and then it's just like cost adjustments.
Yeah, the siege attacker is one that has gotten a lot of like, what's this? I'm sorry, I'm gonna do that accent a lot because I just played through the Mafia game, and they all have Italian accents. So this is just my state of being right now for a bit. But the siege attacker is really, really weird because they obviously removed it from everybody and just put it like every once in a while. So like Kugat has it, for example, but Scarbrand doesn't have it.
Come on now.
Yeah, so clearly it's just stuff they missed. Like Vlad, for example, doesn't have siege attacker, which he was like famous for having like in 1 and 2.
Dude.
Yeah, and well, I mean, like he that was the thing that he had beforehand, right? Like he had it in 1 and 2. And it's just a bunch of stuff that should have it. I don't think the Brass Bull has it either, but it's just clearly like misses, right? That it should.
It's probably anything that can actually attack a wall, I would guess.
Yeah, but like Scabrand and Torx, like as big as a wall.
Yeah, but they don't have wall attacker, do they?
No, but wall attacker is a different thing. Like siege attacker is that you can start the siege straight away.
But it would kind of make sense for anything that with wall attacker to be able to, because I think the thinking is what can attack a city right away. And I mean, I know anything can because you could just hack the gate down, but it would kind of make sense for anything that can take down a wall, like a giant, for example, to have siege attacker because they can attack a wall and knock it down.
It's also like the weirdest thing with vampires, for example. Once again, like doesn't the change for me was that the powerful ones that were really good at sieging, like Empire and things with cannon and stuff like that, would just be able to outrange the wall towers much easier again. So they became stronger. things like vampires, for example, that don't have siege attacker now. They don't have any siege attacker, and like the earliest thing they can get is like crypt horrors or like vargulfs or something that can actually have siege attacker, which is also like super weird. Like in Warhammer 2, it was so weird playing as Isabella, and then you want to siege somewhere, and then you just couldn't really siege anywhere because nothing has siege attacker. So it just
it does feel a bit weird when your entire army is flying. I remember playing tic-tac-toe and having an entire flying force apart from like one guy on an ancient Stegidon, because obviously otherwise. And it was like, no, you're going to need a ram. I'm like, one, I've got a Stegidon. Two, the rest of my 19 units are flying. Walls are not a problem for us. Thank you very much.
You know, I think flying units are like one of the biggest problems with Siege in Warhammer 3 because it just doesn't know what to do with them. Like, you can fly them straight over the walls, making the walls kind of irrelevant, unless you have like a guerrillion guns on it, and even then it probably still doesn't matter. I don't know, I feel like they're like one of the things that make it like so impossible to design a good system for sieges, because they kind of like negate a lot of the stuff that give the defender an advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I guess unsupported flying unit, if you charge a unit of, I don't know,
like Fellbats or whatever.
Royal Pegasus Knights into the middle of a like city, that they're just going to get mobbed, right? You need the support. So they're good for like helping to take the walls, which is kind of what they're there for. But they do tend to cause more damage. If you send VAR guys to attack a unit on the wall, they'll kill like 3 guys, but they'll knock the other 87 off the wall to their death.
Yeah,
far more easily.
I was playing the encampments forts mod, and I had a battle with some VAR guys, and they absolutely just obliterated some Empire handguns that were sat on the walls. Like, just wiped out 2 units by instantly knocking them all to their death. It was hilarious.
Yeah, so that's that stuff that the siege beta won't necessarily fix. But I would guess because the AI can't just clamber up all the walls, they're far more focused in their attacks. Like, they're not just going to spread themselves out across the entire map as they usually do and attack the entire map at the same time, which is, I find, quite exhausting personally.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I play like 2.5 campaigns with the Siege Beta, and it doesn't change super much for attacking, but it does change a ton for defending. And the defenses has been like, you can win stuff that you would never have been able to win before because they get so choke point in. And it's a lot of fun, actually, because it's one of those things, right? Like, what's better balanced? The things that you can't win or the things that you have a chance to win now? So, I mean, I've been enjoying the Siege Beta a lot, but I do think they should really go ham. Like, Siege Towers should be like way better. Like, they should just have the range back so you could counter artillery, because artillery is still like the big thing that you can't counter.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I think they're too scared to give the defender an advantage because of multiplayer balance. But, you know, I've said a million times what you should do about that. I can't be bothered to say it again.
Yeah, I didn't personally really play the beta because I kind of wanted to, but I didn't really have I was playing with loads of mods at the same time, and I've got a long run campaign, so I didn't want to break anything. But I also felt like, although it's obviously a nice change and a good change, it doesn't really fix, I think, the greater problem with sieges, in that it's nice to hear that is that case, that you can win battles that you wouldn't be able to win normally. But I was always worried that the AI just doesn't tend to fight sieges. Like, it will, if it's got multiple armies, it'll just happily siege you down anyway. Like, it'll just wait for the attrition to kill you off, without actually having to attack you, which is kind of boring.
Yeah.
You know, it's less fun to defend a settlement when your army's half dead already compared to theirs.
Yeah, you're just kind of like waiting for the inevitable at that point. It's like, do I sally forth and lose, or do I wait in here and lose?
Did they actually just go in for the attack then, Fred?
Yeah, they attack quite a lot. Sometimes they would see like attrition you down a little bit, but I only saw them attrition down the AI completely, never like myself.
I do know sometimes the AI will get into this state where it will just attrition the settlement down to nothing, and then continue to siege. So there's like nothing, there's no units left in it, and there's still like still 2 more turns
Yeah.
bastards.
Yeah, yes, do a victory lap.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's nice to hear that it did make some changes.
Fred,
that they are more aggressive.
Do you think the beta, like, do you think it's possible from this beta and further patches to it to fix sieges without changing the maps, or do you think the maps are part of the problem?
Maps are definitely always part of the problem, but I mean, they were better, right? Sometimes you don't fix stuff, you just make them better until they're good enough, right? Because I don't know, like the best sieges in Total War for me is like Shogun 2 has like really good sieges. Thrones Britannia have great sieges, like Attila as well. Like Thrones Britannia had some of the best sieges I ever played, and even Three Kingdoms also had great sieges.
So why is Shogun 2 good with sieges, considering that is also a game with arse ladders? Although admittedly they don't pull the ladders out, they just climb up the wall.
I mean, sometimes they just die from just falling down from the ladder.
They do. It's quite punishing to climb up that wall.
And then also it's kind of made to be able to like it's balanced around these smaller segmented like little castles, right? So you have a really good advantage of shooting from there. Like the Yari spearmen obviously like work really well when you're just like in a corner, you just like put spear wall and then they just rush in there and die.
I think one of the things was maybe it was a smaller area to, because I find one of the things I really hate about Warhammer 3 sieges is the fact that you're basically fighting 3 to 4 different battles at the same time, and that's really hard to do when the battles are so fast. When engagements can be won in 20 seconds, that's really quite hard to deal with in 4 separate particularly I'm thinking particularly the dwarf / Skaven / orc city, which is like almost like 4 quadrants, and the AI will always attack from all 4 of them, and you're always just like, I can't be bothered to deal with this. Whereas obviously Shogun 2 maps were very contained, and you didn't have to like you could see them coming from maybe 2 or 3 directions, and because that was so contained, it was a much easier place to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, Shogun 2 is a weird one. I was kind of hesitant saying that those were like, they're not the best, but they're definitely like fun, because you can also, if you just have like artillery or something, you can just bombard them, and then that's basically.
Fall of the Samurai was a lot of fun. If you had cannons, you could just watch the people flying all over the place. Yeah,
so that's hit or miss, but I really enjoyed the other ones. Like the other ones I had great sieges in. Also, like Three Kingdoms only has a couple of maps, but the maps just work so well. And fire also plays like you have such a good tool as well to deal with stuff inside the city as well. And obviously, like the fire will cost you afterwards as well, because you have to repair shits.
I don't know.
That kind of thing.
I don't know why the sieges in Three Kingdoms felt like they worked better than Warhammer 3. To be honest, I think the sieges in Warhammer 2 work better than Warhammer 3. I genuinely think a big part of the problem is the maps are just huge.
Yeah, the maps are huge, and they're also like really static, it feels like. Like you can build your towers, but like all the main buildings are there that are always in the way. Like they can't be burnt down or anything like they can in some other games. So it kind of just feels like your mum's told you, all right, you can play in here, but don't break anything. Don't touch anything. Don't do it.
But have you noticed how the buildings will take damage? Like city buildings will, if you pay attention, if you like watch a city building as it gets hit by like a cannon shell or something, it will go from like to it's got like 2 states. It's like it's either or it's slightly off, like it's damaged or something. But there's no transition between the 2 of them, and it doesn't make any difference. But
I can't remember if that's the case in Warhammer. I think it used to be Warhammer 1 or 2 that some buildings would be destroyed if you like kill a shot at the civilian buildings as well. Because in Three Kingdoms, for example, you can see like the buildings you have built in the city, and if those get burnt down, you will have to fix that up. Same as in Attila and Thrones Britannia and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I guess the limitator is the fact that there are so many different races in Warhammer 3, something that you don't have a problem with in
maybe Rome 2 had those as well.
Yeah, Rome definitely did. I'm fairly sure Rome 2 did. But I'm guessing the problem is that if you had that in Warhammer, you'd be like, okay, who owns this city? Is it Greenskins? Okay, in that case, it's this building is their barracks building. But if you're like a different faction, what does that look like? And there's just a lot of... I think a lot of the problems of Warhammer 3 come down to the fact that a lot of stuff can be owned by anyone, and so it's really difficult to sort of. But mind you, I mean that was more of a problem in Warhammer 1 where they changed the settlement depending on who owned it. In Warhammer 3, they don't really care. It's, you know, if this was a dwarf settlement, it's a dwarf settlement forever. It doesn't really matter. So it would just be nice to have some more maps, to be honest, because and also to some of the. Have you seen the Lizard Man map, right? Where it's almost like a horseshoe. Like the defender has this big chunk in the middle where they can't go through. So what you can do is you can deploy all your units in the trees on one side, one guy on the other, and then you just like they all deploy on one side, and then you just like attack the side they're not in. It takes them so long to get around that by that point you're inside the city.
Yeah, it's the same with well, not exactly the same, but there's some glaring issues in a lot of those settlements, like the vampire settlement, where you can just go on one side where they don't have towers or anything like that, and you can't get shot by any other towers either.
Yes, I know.
It's such a weird one. But more settlement battle maps. Definitely, that's. I think that's on everyone's list. Like the GCCM stuff, it was just amazing. Like the Karak map, I think as well, which is just a big bridge and like a giant wall with a bunch of towers. Was just fantastic.
I did like some of the maps were really good. Some of them, the problem was it was such a mixed bag. Yeah. I remember being on a map where they obviously hadn't really they'd made it so it looked fantastic. However, they had not considered how the AI was going to deal with this. So the AI deployed all of its army in this weird sort of like balcony overlooking one section of and then had to travel really far back around. And by which point I was like, well, this battle's going to take 40 minutes because it's just going to take that long for them to actually reach where I am now in their stupid city. So I haven't really used it recently, but it would be nice to have, you know, a little bit more. I'd say that bridge map was one that I went, oh my God, that looks so cool. That's such a good idea.
So beyond this patch, what do you think? Like you said, you want them to go harder. What exactly would that look like for you?
I would want them to have the tower should do even more damage, and they should have full range again, 100%. All the towers should be built from the get-go, even if it's just like tier 1 or 2. You could upgrade them later on if you wanted to.
Well, and the ones in the city as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. But also, but like, someone in my chat said that it would be so cool if they had. Like the towers would actually increase in range as they went up in tier. Like arrow towers obviously don't go as far as cannon towers, for example.
Yeah.
So things like that, because obviously, like if you have a lizardman magic lightning bolt ray gun in your tower, then that should go really far as well. Instead of just somebody sitting there like, like it shouldn't be the same kind of range on those. It would be that's weird.
Yeah.
I also think it'd be nice if the towers are standardized a little bit, because sometimes you upgrade them and you have no idea what you're getting.
Yeah. You're now getting a magical explosive compared to an explosive magical.
What does that mean? I think I do feel like some of the upgrades are actually worse than the previous version.
Yeah.
I think they fixed that. Like it used to be that some of those tiers were like worse. So you should do. That was like the start of Warhammer 3, right? Where the cannon towers were tier 2, and then like at tier 3 they became like arrows or something. So tier 2 was like you had to get that on everyone, because
I would still argue that the warp lightning towers that the Skaven get are significantly better than the Doom Rocket ones.
You know what?
Yeah.
Speaking of a warp lightning, you know what would be really cool if, as well as like towers, you had like some settlement abilities. Like if you built a specific defensive building, you could use like an engine of the gods, or like a warp lightning with a short cooldown. It's got like 10 uses or something.
You mean like what the Chaos Dwarves have?
Sure.
They can build the Dreadquake cannon, and then they can use the Dreadquake cannon in that province, can you?
Absolutely.
That's something that I would really love to see, like some abilities for siege defenses, because like I said earlier, the really strong siege factions with cannon stuff like that just became stronger, because the only one who can really counter siege like artillery and things like that are Skaven with Menace from Below. And you need something to counter stuff like that, because otherwise you don't get any counter mechanic for stuff. You can just have something that is literally too strong because there are no counters for it. But you can just make counters and then it's not too strong anymore.
Yeah, siege abilities would be really cool because, like, if you get the max level of the defensive siege building, like, you get really tough walls that the enemy will use arse ladders to get over, unless you're in this beta, of course. You have towers that the enemy will just walk past. It's like, I'm not really getting anything by upgrading this. I may as well like stick to the bottom tier and just, I mean, you get a bigger garrison, but...
Yeah, I think maybe a building with, right, okay, so hear me out, right? If you had like so you could build your defenses, right? But the defenses had sub-buildings, and then you could build like 3. So like if you were a dwarf settlement, you could build your defense and you go, you know what I would like? I would like to have the ability for dwarf miners to do like a menace from below attack. So you could slot that.
Yes.
So then you would have something like, then you could be like, oh, okay, that's great. Or maybe you could go, right, I want an extra unit of Thunderers or something and slot that one. And you just get an extra unit of Thunderers in your garrison. So you have a little bit more choice about what your garrison's actually going to do. That would work really well for fortresses, which at the moment, let's be honest, are so dull and so pointless that there's almost no point actually using them.
They're really weird because... They're so weird because like the Cathayan gates and stuff like that, everyone else you need to have like siege gear to go and attack, but not like the Cathayan gates, and not for forts either. So obviously like the siege beta is a lot of stuff they hadn't thought about, which is probably good that they made the beta then to actually try it out. But like the counter stuff is just... I almost want to rant about how they never want to make a counter mechanic stuff. They just want to nerf stuff. So if counters are too strong, they can't just like give everybody like a little attack to get rid of them. Or if you do them correctly and really good, that is. Instead, you have to just nerf the damage of something, and it's just like I don't know. I think that's just the wrong way to actually balance the game.
Yeah, I do think that C8 do tend to fall into this trap of we're just not going to make anything exciting. And I think that's entirely the wrong. Like, I always look at, like, does anyone actually find research in Warhammer 3 fun? I don't think so. Research exists.
So boring.
Yeah, and you click on a button and it researches stuff, but no one's like, oh, great, this is going to be a real game changer or anything.
I would
like, you know,
like it's. I mean, we've definitely talked about this before. It's the bloat problem. If there were like 50% as many technologies as there are, but they were impactful and they took like, if something took 10 turns and like each one take 10 turns, you're like, right, I really need to pick which one. So do I want to unlock a new ability for my miners or my whoever, some dwarf unit I'm too tired to think, or do I want to like get like a really big unlock a building that I can use to really boost my economy? Like, just make it actually impactful, because research is just so nothing.
They've kind of tried that. Like, there are trees, aren't there? A lot of them spread out just enough so you have a little scroll bar, and then
shout out to Compact Tech Tree Mod, their own workshop.
But the problem is that none of those trees are interesting. Like, it's always like, oh, would you like 5 extra attack for your infantry? You go, well, I guess, but I mean,
it's not like it's bad.
Like, am I going to notice boring.
It? I mean,
that's the problem with it.
Owlcat got a lot of flack for that, because a lot of their abilities is like, now every third Sunday, if you're standing next to a friend, you're going to get 6% more damage on the crits with this ability points. And it's just like number go up in certain aspects.
And this vague sort of potential chance that you might have if you remember to actually do stuff like that during the fight, along with the other 20 you have.
Yeah, obviously, like a lot of the technologies in Warhammer are pretty strong, like giving 3 more melee defense for all of your melee units. For example, Cat A is like
bad. It's
pretty crazy.
It's just boring.
Yes, but you know what game fixed that up?
3 Kingdoms.
Go on.
3 Kingdoms, yes, because there in the technology you would just unlock a unit. You would unlock like having a little tower and like I don't know, a little puddle of oil and shit.
That's true.
And you would have like these crazy, powerful, really fun stuff that you could just take, but it would just be so spread out, and you would just have to really pick and choose what you want to take.
Did it have a scroll bar?
No.
Get rid of it. Don't want it.
I want a scroll.
So, someone has to speak up for CA. We need scroll bars. They're integral to the game.
Scroll bars.
But it's a good point because it did unlock new buildings. It did unlock new units that you could recruit.
Like, I think part of the problem, not part of the problem, but like something that annoys me is like you get to the like end tier of units relatively quickly. Like 30-ish turns in, you can be at some like pretty high tier units if you really put your foot down. Like imagine if you had to like research units, it's slow everyone down and expand the early and the mid game, which are the most interesting parts. Make them a lot more exciting.
They nerfed growth so that people wouldn't have access to those units as quickly. And at the same time, you're like, yeah, but you're right. You could have just done it if you just did it by research, then suddenly
this matters and growth is still good.
But I mean, this comes down to a bigger problem in Total War Warhammer particularly, but I just feel like the gold upkeep
it's not
sort of mechanic is so tired and done, and I'm just kind of done with it. I really like playing different factions like the Tomb Kings where you just don't have to worry about that stuff.
I think every faction should have a capacity system. I really like the unique. We are so off topic; it's unbelievable, but whatever. It's Monday. I like the unique capacities mod. The one where you have to have like certain amount of like blue and purple units. You're not allowed anymore.
Tabletop caps or whatever it's called, right?
That's the one, boss. That's good. That's a good little mod.
You called me boss.
So pleased with yourself. But yeah, sieges.
Yeah, sieges. Yeah, so I mean the sieges. I feel like it's a nice change. I don't think they're ever going to. I don't think they're ever going to fix sieges in Warhammer 3. I just do not think that attacking the problem with sieges directly is going to actually fix them. I think there's a wider problem that they just don't have the resources at this point to sort of fully encompass all of the issues which sieges bring, and they're never going to remake the maps, which I think is one of the biggest problems. So
yeah, but speaking of the tech tree and things like that, with the bloats, do you guys think that they might actually do some with those, with the quality of life changes they're going to do for Tomb Kings and Lizardmen? Because Lizardmen have like a abysmal tech tree right now. It is weird.
It's awful.
Tech tree. It's to navigate.
Yeah, it's the same with Dark Elves and High Elves. Also have like pretty weird tech trees because they're just, you have to pay stuff or you have to like build a certain building somewhere. And it doesn't really stop you that much either. It's just like your end game units will have those -5 melee defense that you can't get as fast.
I don't hate the Lizardmen tech tree. I think the problem is it's just very linear. It's like you build this building and then you build the Great Plan building or whatever, and then you just whoop. Like it's not a tree, it's a tech line.
Yeah. It is kind of weird, but it does also kind of force you into taking other techs as well. But I mean, here they could solve everything by just giving you tech for blessed spawnings, for example. Like then they start spawning, for example, on the far end of it or something.
Not like repeatable techs. That's a good idea.
Not a really repeatable tech, but like if you think about if you get to the end of it, for example, then you'll have the blessed Carnosaur, for example. Like obviously I don't want to have like blessed Saurus warriors at the end. I want those in the middle or something, because the Saurus have already been like gone from like tier 1 and 2 to 2 and 4, no 2 and 3, which is crazy because you can get Khorne Chosen at like tier 3 as well. So it's everything is just a weird right now, I think, with the tiers.
Yeah, I have been playing the Tomb Kings expanded mod.
Yeah,
that's a great mod,
and that does some really cool things for the Tomb Kings.
Yeah,
it doesn't change the tech tree all that very much, but it does allow you to unlock units based on your tech choices, which I think is very cool. I don't think they're probably going to do that in Warhammer 3 because no other faction works like that. I think they have problems with factions that work slightly different than the other factions because they don't tend to like, I don't know, again, they sort of have this, they can't be too good, so they just make them worse than everyone else, like Nurgle. But it certainly does. It certainly does make the tech tree more interesting, and I think it adds loads of stuff to the Tomb Kings that are actually really cool. Like it lets you build pyramids not just
so good.
Yeah, right. It's like the deeps mechanic for the dwarves,
It's
whereby
ridiculously like long term. It's so great.
oh yeah, it's such a good idea. Like genuinely, the level of maniacal genius behind that is very much a case of I'm glad they're doing this rather than turning their force to evil or something, because they would be robbing banks.
Yeah, my pantheon of modern mechanics are that, and then the legions of Nagash. When you get Nagash's, he gets like a horde pyramid. And those are both like such ridiculous levels of long-term investment, but they are so cracked. It's brilliant.
I'm just gonna do real-time fact checking here as well, with not doing so much for the tech, because in Tomb Kings Extended, you actually get 12 new techs for like faction specific ones as well, with their little research tree and stuff.
I've just done my thumb.
Yeah, I mean, compared to all the other stuff it does for the faction, the tech tree is probably the least touched, but they do touch it up. But it's certainly things like the pyramid mechanic is fantastic. All the new units are great. They're all lawful. It's just generally very. I mean, I say not lawful, but they look like they fit, and I think that's really cool. So I think if they were to do something like that for the Tomb Kings, the problem is if they do that for the Tomb Kings, they'd have to do it for the other factions, because people complain it's better than greenskin tech now, and they don't want to do that, because I think this game is, I'm fairly certain, being sunsetted at some point. So as much as I think they may like tweak bits here and there, I don't think they're going to have like huge overhauls for anything.
No, we'll see. I mean, it's always so I think this kind of ties into the leaked reports over like Total War sales and stuff like that. Like Total War is selling pretty well, but they could do better. So I think like Daddy Sega has come in and just said like, you boys are gonna have to fix this up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we're getting like a bunch of like fixes in segments to keep the hype up. And then also they say like, these DLCs aren't good enough. You're gonna have to do more.
As much as it hurts that the DLC got delayed, it's like, you don't want another Shadows of Change.
No,
I don't even want more Omens of Disappointment, to be honest. I want more Thrones of Decay.
Yeah, that was a good
best
DLC
the game has seen, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Omens was. Yes, sir.
I was going to say, it's just good that Sega is sort of like taking more of an active. Normally, I wouldn't say that was a good thing, but actually, I think in this case, I think it is a good thing.
Yeah, I was definitely one of the people who, when like in 2020 or something like that, all the publishers were like, you know what, we're gonna be hands off. You guys can do whatever you want to. Like BioWare, for example, is when like, oh yeah, Anthem 2.0 that we're gonna launch. Yeah, we're gonna make another Dragon Age. And a lot of the different companies were like, okay, now we're going to do our own thing. It's like drop the project they were working on, doing something else. And in hindsight, I'm like, well, I mean, maybe the publisher should have been involved a little bit. Like, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I think particularly because the studios that Sega does have their little sticky paws on do tend to release quite polished stuff. So obviously that's a big thing for them, which is good.
Yeah, compare your most recent Yakuza games to like Warhammer 3 on launch. Oof.
Yeah, and it just feels like, you know what? If CA are just churning out stuff as quickly as possible, maybe having Daddy Sega go, hang on a second there. Just let's just chill out a minute. Maybe that's the better option.
Yeah. As much as I hate big corporation, if the big corporation, instead of being like, make more shit DLC to get more money, is more like, make good DLC to get more money, then I'm okay with it. I'm okay with big corporation, but I'm more accepting of it because it makes a better game.
It seems to be a little bit of a shift where they actually do think about quality, where they're like, maybe quality sells more. It's probably a mixed bag of those decisions as well. Every person is a different person. Every corporate person is probably a different kind of weird.
Got Alien Isolation 2, though. That's in the works somewhere at CA.
Oh, I did enjoy Alien. Well, no, I hated Alien Isolation, but I would happily not. Well, I wouldn't happily play a second Isolation, but it is a good game.
Remind me, I've got a question regarding horror games. I want to loop back to when we in the what games have we been playing topic.
Noted.
Are we there? No.
No. But in reality, the quality of life changes instead of just technological. What else could they actually change? Personally, I think they're going to change some units caps and prices of things, because like 7,000 for one cask of soul, for example, is crazy.
Yeah, I'm not confident that we'll get like full reworks, new mechanics, anything like that.
Oh no, this is quality of life updates.
Yeah.
So it's basically like price changes, maybe tech tree changes, changing of blessed units, I think.
I would like to see them go through ancillaries like they have items, because they're still pretty terrible across the board. You know, when you get the +1 public order ancillary and you go, wow, this is just great.
Yeah, but if you get like 6 of them, it's +6. No?
Yeah, it might coincide with item rework that they actually do change those things, and maybe they'll even go through the dwarfs stuff as well. While they're at it, not that the dwarfs I think need anything. They've had so many updates.
Yeah. I don't really know what you can do for the lizardmen if you're not going to give them like a full mechanical rework. It's like the geomantic web is just shit. It's terrible.
I personally think they're just going to make it so that you have some better way of spawning blessed units and maybe do the tech tree.
They could. Do you think it's within the like realm of or like within the, I don't know. It's possible. They could just get rid of the geomantic web building and just integrate it into the main building, because why would you ever not build it?
I mean, they probably could do that. It's a very strong building. It's just that it's one of those number go up buildings, so it's not like super cool.
Integrate the effects of the geomantic web into the main building, and then like the other effects just disperse them around something else.
Yeah, I mean, like it's one of those. That's their faction mechanic, and it's not much, but that's like the building they have.
It's so bad.
So then effectively they have nothing, right?
I'd rather they have nothing. It sucks.
Yeah, honestly, it wouldn't be noticeable too much, and a lot of people probably miss building that one anyway. But yeah, I don't know, man. They can do there otherwise.
Don't know. And the lizardmen, they're just it's simultaneous.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm gonna
simultaneous flex. Had the brainwave.
I'm gonna stretch a different position. Okay, now it's my turn. You start dabbing instead.
Now let's do the Usain Bolt.
I've got both legs behind my head.
I'm sure you do.
I'm stretching.
You don't sound
That's impressive.
Most impressive.
As always.
Yeah, I'm just like, I think of like what you could do to fix the lizardmen without completely gutting them and reworking their entire base mechanics. I'm coming up empty.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just quality of life updates. It's not reworks. You're not getting anything big. You might be getting change of costs or something like that.
I think maybe make their research tree so it's less compact and needs more scroll bars. In reality,
Face everything out like another tech, and then
in reality, instead of having it like every single like line is a line, just like have it so that like you've got like a few clusters, maybe like 4 directions or something, and it's just like, oh, so you know you unlock this one with this building, then it like unlocks a web, and you can have other ones need certain buildings within that web, but having it just be lines is just so dull. Have it be a tree, a tech tree, if you will.
Or maybe do a little tech pyramid where you just unlock this little segment of it. Because they do like pyramids as well.
They do.
That pyramids.
Floating spaceship pyramids.
Yeah, that too. Need some. So you need like a pyramid-like tech tree, and then some laser techs coming off them.
Yes.
In different directions.
They do like to do that. They do like to make the tech trees look like something. The enthusiasm for lizardmen is bowling me over.
Yeah, I mean, We'll have to see. In the end, it's always hard to predict these things because, as we've heard from interviews stuff like that, it goes a little bit into vibe based on compare like on whoever it is that's actually working on that right then. So
yeah, it's definitely not like a team working on. Well, is there a team working on this, or is it just like 3 guys locked in a room in a cupboard somewhere?
Who knows? I
One
don't think
slice of ham slid under the door per week.
I don't think the Total War team gets like the Warhammer 3 team gets larger by the week. That I do not think.
No.
It's just Josh whipping Sean.
just poor Sean.
I'm doing my best. I'm going to buff Skarsnik again.
I mean, I'm okay with that. That's fine.
He's good. He's fun.
I do love my little green boy.
Yeah. Next topic, since we've just completely petered out when we got to Lisbon.
I was just getting a really good segue into that, and you're just like, no, next topic. I was just saying like, well, this seems to be a clash right into a mountain wall. Speaking of clashes, we're going to be doing the Total War Clash, all of us.
Yes.
What is the Total War Clash, Fred? What is the Total War Clash?
The Total War Clash. It is the 25th anniversary of the Total War series. And we will be competing in various Total War games, starting with, probably you guys have already seen this because Damnus does not edit these really quickly. But we're starting with Shogun 2 this coming Friday. So I have not done my matches yet. I do know that the person I'm fighting is a historical Total War creator, so that's going to go really well.
Yeah, the person I'm fighting has played Shogun 2 in like the last couple of months, so I am absolutely fucked.
You're fine. It's going to go great.
I played 2 hours with monsters, and I lost. I think I went like 2-16. And the first one I won was because we didn't realize that Cav was ridiculous. It was like, I'm going to hopefully like edit down everything. But I was just like managing my units and I was like, oh, let's see what my artillery's aiming at. And then I came back and his entire army had broken because my cav had impacted. And like everyone was just like, well. I thought the samurai had a bit more like leadership than that.
Yeah, you did seem a little bit surprised when everyone was running away. I think you're obviously concentrating quite heavily on one section of the battlefield, and then you kind of looked over and were like, oh, where's my army gone?
Yeah, then when monsters realized he could also use cav, that's when it started going downhill for me. But anyway,
what cavalry did you guys use the most?
What?
What cavalry did you guys enjoy the most? Was it like the samurai, katana, or yari? Spearman?
It just ended up being, well, because we both knew that cav was OP, we ended up just having loads of cav battles, so it was a lot of yari. And it
was hot yari on yari action, but I also recruited a couple of katana so I could like peel them off and then go and wreck his infantry while he was busy. They were busy dealing with the cavalry engagement in the middle. By which point, for some reason, I kept winning those. I don't know why, because it was always 4-on-4. So
it was 4 yari on 4 yari, and mine were just like, well, time to go.
Just it was. Yeah.
It's just the initial charge who gets like the best ones, and then that just cascades into.
Maybe I was just getting the charges off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably because I kept forgetting to double click to make them move fast, and there's no way to turn on automatically.
You know what? That might have been if you were just walking into my charges, that probably would.
Yeah, that isn't very good
also,
to do at all. That could any general. Could
I'm gonna pick up this complaint. Why is the icon for spears 2 swords or 3 swords? Why is it not a spear?
It's, you know what, the older Total War games have a lot of gripes. Just be happy that they're there, and don't let the Shogun 2 fanboys hear you complain about it, because dang, you will be on a list or something.
Come at me, bitches. I get stalked. No, it's very like similar to, I'm going to say it, this will piss them off more. It's very similar to Warhammer 3. It's very, almost the same as Warhammer 3, I would say. But yeah, the icons
you
were
can't
like
do
just
the alt shift and then drag. I really missed being able to do, I think is it, I just do it by muscle memory now, but alt shift and like drag your entire army in formation up. Yeah. I miss having that so much, because that's how I move my armies around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was that, and then control groups are just like they have to be locked into a formation, which I didn't want.
It's the game definitely could use some. That if they could just do an update and not a remaster. I think CA is a little bit mad at that they made it like too good, so they can like really remaster it easily. Because graphically, you don't like it's not a pretty game anymore, but it is pretty enough. It's not bad at all, and it's.
It's not the level of like Warhammer 3, but at the same time, it looks better than I would say 80% of games that come out at the moment.
I mean, it came out in 2011. It looks like it doesn't look 9 years younger than Warhammer 3, or maybe more. When did Warhammer 3 come out? Was it 2020 or 2021? 2022?
Oh my god, wasn't that long ago, was it?
What year was it? What year is it?
It's 2025.
Oh.
Year of our Lord. What was it? Is it 3 years old? Jesus.
I think something like that.
It's older than my dog.
We have more than 3 DLCs?
Just about.
I mean, just roughly. Hang on, Warhammer 3 came out February 17th, 2022.
So yes, it doesn't look like a game that came out 11 years before Warhammer 3. There's not like that big of a graphical leap, and I don't know if that's a slight on Warhammer 3 or a gold star on Shogun 2. But yes, we're going to be playing many historical games.
Yes, it's going to be cool as well.
Let me find.
I'm looking forward to this. I might not. I don't aim to win, but I do aim to do the best fights there are, and very fun fights.
Yeah, we were never expecting to win. We're hoping to do something entertaining, but I'm struggling to work out if we're going to be able to do even that. Yes, Shogun 2, Rome Remastered, Medieval 2, Empire/Napoleon, I'm not sure if they've decided, Rome 2, 3K, Pharaoh, and then a final which is voted by you, specifically, Steve. So get voting.
Is this actually decided? Is it like announced which ones we're going to be playing?
I don't fucking care.
All right.
I'm not sure, but we can just blame Josh. Otherwise,
I'll message Josh and say, are we allowed to say what other games they're going to be played? And if not, welcome back to the cut after this.
Well, it's gotta be fun anyway. Another thing that was actually surprisingly fun as well was Wild Gates that I tried out. It was actually a extraction shooter, but you're like piloting a ship, so somebody has to like drive the ship, and it's like really clunky controls for like a big wildly spaceship. People have to stand by the turrets, and then you have a team of 3 versus 3, 4, 3 versus 3, or is it 4 versus 4? I can't actually even remember. I never had like a full team because I was losing quite a lot. That's probably why I was losing as well, because I never had full teams. But it was really cool. I like this. And then you have to go in and like do like these little PvE things, grab things, and then you fight other people. Surprisingly fun. That's a game you kind of have to play right now, because I feel like that's gonna die out really soon, because I could hardly even get like full teams now.
Oh, that's released 22nd of July. Oh, that's a shame. The problem is there's just so many games at the moment.
Yeah,
it's really hard to find an audience.
Yeah. Otherwise, also RoboCop. One of my, if it hadn't been for BG3, that would have been my game of the year. Also got a new game. They fixed it now, so you get the auto aiming. Now it doesn't go for like in the middle of the person. They actually have it so that it will shoot him in the dick instead.
Yes.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
We are allowed to disclose the games. Safe.
Nice.
And Bannerlord, the Shokuku mod as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was really good, actually. That was super cool. Bannerlord is such a weird game because all the like overhaul mods are better than the base game. I'm going to say that. Like, it's just crazy. Because base game doesn't know what it really wants to do. They're like, well, you can make like workshops. Well, we nerfed that to the ground. You can do caravans. We nerfed that also to the ground. What you can really do is smithing, that we nerfed 50 million times, but you guys find ways to be rich on smithing anyway. So
I think maybe that Bannerlord, the devs of Bannerlord spent so much time like just getting the game, because the game itself is an absolutely unhinged experience. Like if you think about it, if you were to go back 10 years and say, hey, I'm going to make a game which is basically you, but you can have an army, but you're going to lead it in third person. Oh, also you can do sieges. Oh, and also you'd look at that person like they were insane. And yet somehow they've made 2 of these games.
Yeah, I mean, the sieges in the Shokuku mod are so cool because it literally has like these multi-tiered sieges. So first is fighting like the little village in front of it. Then you have to get over like the moat and the like bridge and stuff like that. And then you go up the hill to like one of the base camps and you fight there. And then to the next base camp and like winding stairs and stuff like that up there. And then you go into the castle. It's just so cool. Like defending those is just super duper fun. That and the arquebuses. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. Right. So as soon as we're done here, I'm downloading Bannerlord again.
Yeah, dude, it's great.
You say this every week.
I know. I never have the time.
but I just love that base game has such a hard time balancing stuff like that, and the mods always go like, you know what? Everything else not as good as the battles. The economy, battle driven. And you're like, yeah, I'm gonna fight stuff. I'm gonna get the battle loose, and that's how I'm gonna get rich. And the game's like, hey, I didn't say that, but you can. Wink. Yeah. Wink.
I keep meaning to try the Warhammer overhaul mod for Bannerlord because I've heard that's pretty good.
You haven't done that yet? It's hilarious.
No,
it's just so good. You know, you can be a vampire. You just like have the vampire super strength jump. You can jump up on certain walls. Then you just like winds of death all over the battlement. It's so funny.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that sounds absolutely amazing.
Or you stand by the front gate as a fire wizard, and you're like burning skull, and it just goes through the entire gate, and then you can see like the death numbers just go like. It's hilarious.
That genuinely sounds immense. So
imagine you're a fire wizard, right? It's like 1,000-person battle, like as big as they get. You have artillery in the back. You see these cannon fire just like drop down, like big clouds of the cannon fire, mortars like just blasting into the ground. Somebody shooting fireballs and stuff like that. You yourself out of mana. You take out your Imperial Repeater. You say Alakablam. Parry this, you cash, and you start blasting. That's that mod in a nutshell. Yeah. That's that mod in a nutshell. Definitely, like, man, if you haven't tried out. If you have, what mods have you tried for Bannerlord?
I had a mod that made followers easier to find.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
And I think I had a mod that like changed some colors. So I've been fairly vanilla, it must be said.
Yeah, definitely just go against the Warhammer mod, start as a vampire, and just race undead in the local cemetery.
You know what? I did try the Warhammer mod once, but I tried being a necromancer. I went to a place to raise dead, and then people killed me, and I was like, I don't really.
Yeah, they don't like you doing this.
No, I don't know why they wouldn't in a vampire city. That should be like that should be like going down to Sainsbury's, shouldn't it? To go for a shop, really. Probably not even Sainsbury's, probably like Aldi, I guess, because you've got the middle aisle. You just dig them up. You're like, yeah, I'll take that one, that one, that one. But they didn't like it, so. But it was. I think it was at their first release. I tried that, so it was like years and years ago when I first tried it, and I think it was very early doors.
That still happens, but it's better now. I mean, it used to be good, but it's better now. Okay, I got 3 more games to go through here. But I'm gonna do them quickly. Okay, I tried Against Storm, the new DLC. Pretty cool. I mean, like Against Storm is a good game, right?
Yeah, I really like Against the Storm. I just can't work out how I would do content for it. That's the problem. Like I played it and was like, oh yeah, this is really good. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
I mean, like I stream, so that's like my con. It's like, hey, I'm playing this now and just making jokes about it. Something. The jokes aren't even good. But then again. True. And then Neverwinter Nights 2 Enhanced Edition, which was like, why did they even remaster that? That I can't understand. It's like hopped up graphics, but then they have like all the bugs and like weirder stuff now and stuff. Yeah, it's just really weird. I guess it's cool if you haven't played those like before, but dang, it's just, I don't know, man. And then Mafia, the old country, the new Mafia, finished down yesterday on stream. And I mean, for people who play likes Mafia 1 and 2, I never actually played 3. I don't know why. I think I was like into other games when that one came out.
It's
then I guess
very
didn't-
fine. It's not great. Mafia 1 and 2.
Yeah,
way
that's
better.
basically what I heard. It's like, yeah, it's
It's
all
an
right.
open
But
world
1 and
game.
2, yeah, Mafia 1 and 2 though, great games. I think Mafia: The Old Country. If you like 1 and 2, you're probably gonna like this one as well because it's like a mafia story, good acting, good graphics, like as good as Unreal Engine 5 will look with hit or miss faces, basically. And yeah, it was great. I really liked that one. And the RimWorld DLC I've been playing a ton. Did I mention that last time? Maybe.
I'm trying to. I'm like looking at
think
my
it was-
last played games and trying to work out what I have not talked
I
about.
don't think it would have been out yet when we last did one. So you might have had it, but you might not have been able to talk about it.
No, I don't get those DLCs, but that DLC is like my favorite DLC now. Just like having a spaceship and just being like this swarm of locusts, basically just land somewhere and then you just like murder all the wildlife, put all the meat in your freezer, like the strip mine everything, all the metals you can. They just fly off and leave a humongous crater that kills everything.
Yeah, that
That
sounds like
very
RimWorld.
British.
I remember the last time I played RimWorld, I'd had a prisoner, but they died, but they were still in the bed. But I was like, the body will get dragged somewhere. So I changed because some people turned up. I was like, I better like make some bedrooms for them to stay. So I just changed the bedroom from the prisoner one to a visitor one. And then someone got into bed with the skeleton and was feeling upset. I was like, well, I could totally understand why, buddy. You've got a decaying corpse right next to you. But maybe you should have thought about this before you went to bed with it. But fine, whatever. It's very much one of those games.
Yeah, you always get like stories from it. We had one feral child, like a 6-year-old, walk up to the call and like, can I stay with you? And like I was playing with my wife and we was like, yeah, of course you can. There was a sickly, so it's just decaying organs constantly. So the child is like the child is like 22 now, but it's like fully cybernetic, basically. Like fully, it's just robot eyes, new nose.
You make RoboCop.
Arms and legs, like all of it is just like lungs, kidney, everything is just robotic for it, like even the hearts, because everything, the decaying organ disease, like constantly for different things, and things get shot off.
I feel like
Very good shot though, otherwise. So
Did you play the last DLC, the Cthulhu one?
the normally one, not too much. I played it, but I didn't like go into those things.
No, I enjoyed it. I've got a load of video that I really should edit at some point. It's like years at this point, but you're right. There's so many moments in RimWorld where you just go, "This is the funniest thing I've ever seen." One of my, I had this like little compound. I basically, SCP, like I kind of built like an underground base full of milking machines for my weird horrors, and one of my guys, whenever he got upset, one of our like initial people had died. Whenever he got upset, he would go dig up the body and bring it to like the dining room and just dump it on the table. Every time he got upset, and he got upset a lot, he would just bring this body and just dump it on the table.
That's
like it was like a ritual for him.
It calms me.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone else would be like, "Oh, come on, not again."
Corpse Session is a fairly, like, that's my favorite one because I have one pawn right now that just has Berserk and another one that has Murder as tantrums. So whenever they break, they're like, they're gonna murder another colonist, and like, probably arrest him then until he calms down. And then the other one is just smash shits. So
So
yeah.
good. I've downloaded the RimWorld DLC. I haven't played it yet. I'm very much in that state of I just don't have time to do anything at the moment. So
Yeah, that's the spaceship is just so much fun. It's great. You can also edit the normal start, so you can like start things. I've seen some people do the rich explorer, where you're just like one dude who's super rich, but he gets a spaceship as well. So then he can just stand there, do a little fishing, hang out a little bit, and then just, oh, I'm done here now, with my little mobile caravan, blast off and leave a humongous crater, destroying everything around it, just for the next pleasure cruise.
Makes sense. That's being rich, isn't it? Having a super yacht.
Yeah. I think that's basically what I've been playing actually.
Well, I've only been playing 3 things. One, I've been playing Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Ooh,
Nice.
I like that.
Not for myself.
Oh,
It's because my little boy super into dinosaurs. So I saw this on sale and I thought, that's something he might like, right?
it's a fun game.
Yeah, he loves it. He absolutely loves it. And it is a very good game, although I will say it doesn't seem to have like, although it's got all the same sort of like building blocks as games like, oh god, was it Roller Coaster Type? No, not Roller Coaster Tycoon. Planet Coaster, yeah. It's got like none of the like customization options. Like you've got very few bits of decoration, and you can't really do anything with them.
It's 2 seconds.
So the fact that
you do end up spamming a lot of the same stuff.
Yeah, Evolution 3 seems to be like, we fixed that bit. So I showed him a trailer for Evolution 3, and we're now we're gonna buy that as soon as it comes out, because he's super into that, which is very cool. But he really likes all the different dinosaurs. But it does mean I had to buy all the DLC because there was dinosaurs that he really wanted that we didn't have access to. So we had to do that. He also really likes letting the raptors. So what he did is he built like a maze out of cage.
Mm-hmm.
Let the people walk through it, and then airdrop the raptors inside.
Hilarious.
Which I was like,
bit psychotic, but
yeah. Am I proud, or am I desperately searching for the number of a child psychologist? I'm like, I don't really know which of these two I need to do.
I mean, it's just like, you know, when everyone kills their Sims in The Sims. You know, you just take the ladder off and then watch them drown slowly and suffer.
Yeah. I mean, it's he is only 6 though, so that's probably fine. Yeah, it's probably fine. But yeah, he's been. I quite like that game, but he wants to play in the sandbox because he doesn't want to deal with all the annoying things like, you know, having to worry about money and stuff. So he just likes piling dinosaurs in.
But
exactly.
Yeah, the game it does end up being very much about just like, right, like get the highest rating dinosaur that you can, and Fred's cat's having a go, and the park building itself is minimal.
Yeah, it is very, very light on the part, but even to the point where, like, if you put down the different amenity buildings, even though you need 3 different types, there's 3 different types, to actually change them is like the bottom of a scroll bar and a different scroll bar. So you kind of have to, if you want to change it from a drink one to like a food one, you have to go to what type of drink it is, scroll all the way down to the bottom, go a different type, and then you get a different scroll bar with the different types, which you can change, which just seems like it just seems really, like a really weird way to do it.
Yeah,
scroll bars.
Yeah, I was talking about Jurassic Park Evolution, which my little boy's been playing, and how annoying it is to change the amenities from like a drink to a food or something, which is just
that's right.
Yeah, it's just really weird. But we've really been really enjoying that game, so he's loving that, which is great. I've been playing Rogue Trader as well. I've been trying to play as much Rogue Trader as possible. And you're right what you said earlier about the abilities being very. Well, it depends, because if I take what's his name, Solomon, and his doggo, and I'm like, what skill do I want here? And I look down this skill, and I'm like, all of these are boring. And yet, as soon as I get to Adira, and it goes, what would I like? Would I like to set people on fire with my brain, or would I like to give everyone super speed, or would I like to give them all big rock arms? And I'm just like, I don't know what to pick here. Whereas with Solomon, I'm like, I don't know what to pick here, but for different reasons. On one hand, Solomon's like, I don't care what any of these do. And on the other hand, I'm like, these are all amazing. I genuinely can't pick. And one's more exciting than the other.
I did the Arbitrace class last time I played, and I could 3 shots at the last boss. It's so insane. I found like a shotgun that had almost 100 in damage or something like that, but just 1% armor piercing. But then you have like a dogmatic skill that gives you 100% armor piercing. And you're and you're like, alakablam! It's like 3,000 per shot. And then you get extra, give yourself an extra turn and stuff.
It's I'm a spooky space guy. He's like, yeah, well, I'm a policeman. Click, click. Eat this mofo.
And they're like, oh, he has a gun. Let's stand really close to him. And you're like, yeah, fall into my trap. Alakablam!
It's, I love Rogue Trader, I do. But the combat is so out of whack. I can totally understand why people play it on like max difficulty with all the settings turned up, because I think that is potentially the only way your combat gets into round 3 most of the time.
Yeah, it is so much easier than like Wrath of the Righteous, for example. Like Kingmaker Wrath of the Righteous can be insanely difficult sometimes, where you just, this is kind of easy, and then something like the Walking Darkness or whatever it's called comes around, and you're like, I can probably take it. And it's like, no, you don't, Gollum hands. Ah!
I mean, I didn't like particularly blast through Baldur's Gate 3 without a lot of trouble, so I don't think I might need to get some practice in before I approach that one.
The problem with Rogue Trader is that I think there's like some really, really powerful skills. And then you've got this 95% of skills which are absolute trash. And there's no real indicator of what's good and what's not. Like, I gave... did you use Adira in your playthrough?
Oh, no, I was dogmatic. First time she went like a little bit spooky.
Right.
Argenta was like, yes, shame. I was like, shame. She's like...
So I gave Adira the Cyber Raven, which has the ability, basically, if you cast a buff on it, it buffs everyone in its area. So literally the first thing I do is I get Cassia to go, Adira, do some shit. And then Adira goes, okay, and gives everyone warp speed, which increases their AP by like 3 and their movement by like 15 spaces or something. At which point, in the first moment of every single combat, everyone is now like just jacked up on speed. And then as soon as Adira I just buff everyone to the point where all their stats are like over 150 or something. And that's just my entire team.
I think if you have like the servo skull, it even buffs them even more. So then like the officer with giving another turn, you could give like 2 people a turn each, things like that.
Exactly. So I've got the Cyber Skull as well, and I am an officer. So basically, I can just give. I basically all of my team are just absolutely. But after the first round, all of my team are cracked. Absolutely, just flexing all over the place.
Yeah, I mean the problem with Owlcat games is that a good bit, like the build matters more than difficult setting.
Yeah.
In all of them, like if you have a bad build, normal difficulty will be tough for you. But if you have a really good build, the hardest difficulty will be easier than normal with a bad build. It's just, When you said about you just look up a good build online and just follow that, I've been doing that, and it makes it so much easier. yeah. I mean, like it's just there's so many skills that's like I said, like 90% of them are just like trash almost. So if you just choose the right ones, because the first time I played Rogue Trader, I went Sniper, which hadn't been buffed yet, and that was like unbalanced, so it just didn't work properly. And 90% of my build just plain didn't work. I'm not saying like the actual skills weren't that good. I'm saying they didn't work in the code. They didn't do anything. So I had taken some good builds for one of them, for Arganta, and my dudes would be like, yes, Sniper, 40 damage. And she would be like, behold the wrath of the Emperor, and like 120 each hit, like taka 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 taka. And then everybody else's job would just be to scream at her for another turn. It's like, more taka 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 taka, more taka 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 taka, and then we would just have one combat.
Yeah. Agenta was absolutely. She took down the end boss in about 2 volleys for me, and that was only because I didn't get the order of my characters that I wanted at the start. So if I had the right order, it would have been like one round of, which must be really upsetting for that boss to be like, I'm back, and then just get absolutely annihilated by one crosswoman with a heavy bolter. Yeah,
that's great games though. Just look up a build guide, and it's just
it is the best 40k game for like background and stuff.
Yeah, it's probably also the best space CRPG ever.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. And I'm really looking forward to. Is it Dark Heresy? Is the next one they're bringing out?
Yeah, I've listened to the main menu theme so many times they released because it's just so good. I even like started that in a 6-hour road trip with my wife. I was like, listen to this, and then I was like started to talk about like.
Was she twitching by the end?
It's like, do you know what the Dark Imperium is? And it's like, it's blah 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 blah. She's like, all right.
I mean, she must be used to it by now, so...
Who's less interested in Warhammer lore, your wife or me?
You probably. I mean, like I can tell my wife sometimes about stuff. She's like, oh, really? She like knows a little bit about.
That's great, honey.
It's only because you haven't learned it yet, damn. If we taught you, you'd be into it. It'd be great.
I'd rather you teach me Shogun
Smoking,
2.
you just gotta go for it a little bit more, and then you're like it.
Yeah. And the other thing, I've just been playing a lot of Warhammer 3, but I've been using mods. So I've been playing the Tomb Kings Extended, which is a great mod, fantastic. I've also been playing the Crustacean Nation mod.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm sure Fred is already super into because I know how he feels about crabs with weapons.
Yeah.
Look, if we had a DLC by now, would I have played a crab faction? Probably not. But am I pleased I played a crab faction? Yes. Weirdly, it kind of worked, but I'm not 100% sure how. It just kind of fitted. Like I did, you're fighting a bunch of angry interdimensional demons with crabs, and yeah, it kind of feels like, oh, this kind of feels good. This feels right. I don't know why, but it does.
Don't think about it. If it feels good, it's fine.
Yeah. But I've also been playing Hachet's Legendary Lords Beta, which adds some extra Chaos Dwarves. Yeah. And I've also, and I can't remember what the mod is called, but it gives like big guns and big tanks for the Chaos Dwarves. And I love this.
Link?
I love the fact. I'll find it. And basically, like, imagine a Baneblade, right? But for Chaos Dwarf, there's also basically a Death Strike missile launcher. So it's a massive like Chaos Dwarf tank with one big rocket on it. You know when Ikit uses his nuke? Yeah. If you imagine that like times 4, that's roughly sort of it kind of like the entire game slowed down when it hit and it like annihilated half an enemy army, and it was you only get one shot, but that shot does. I reckon you could probably take out an entire army with it if you shot them in the right place. So that's pretty cool. The only thing I will say is a lot of them do seem like they're really expensive, like 1.2k or something upkeep a turn, and a lot of them aren't that effective. But they look cool, which frankly I think is probably the main thing. Yeah. But the Lord I've been playing is like Bazrak something or other, and he has effectively a railgun. So he's just walking around with a big gun, and when he fires, this line appears across the entire battlefield, and anything that intersects that line is dead.
I should really do like something for people who aren't into like anything nerdy, and it's like, is this a Chaos Dwarf from Warhammer or a Klingon? Bazrak, and he has a rail gun.
He does. It's really like whenever he shoots, it makes me happy. I'm not gonna lie. And whenever he fires, I'm like, this is true happiness right here. So,
I should really try out the Chaos Dwarf mod, because I've been thinking of like doing new starts for it, because I usually just do Drasarath or whatever his name is. I've been
most fun. Boy.
So Bazrak is only on the Old Worlds campaign, so I'm currently playing an Old Worlds campaign, which I really like. Now.
Because I stopped playing it because it took too long between turn times.
God, yeah.
The turn times are long. And I will say that Bazrak starts in the Darklands, where you start off with like this little canyony bit, quite long. And to the north of him, there's this massive area with one settlement in it. And to the south, you've got this massive area with one settlement, which means that I've spent a lot of time just walking around and ending turn. But the prospects are good, and he has a railgun, so I mean, I'm never going to complain about that.
Well, railgun did kind of sell me on it, so
Definitely. I'm trying to remember what I talked about last time. I don't think I'd finished Elden Ring. I think I was playing it. I finished it. I beat most of the bosses. I think I just missed like 2 guys, but I looked them up, and the reward was like 10k runes, and I was getting 10k runes for killing normal enemies, so that was good. Not playing the DLC yet, because I kind of didn't want to burn out, because I played like 60 hours in a few weeks. But
I mean, those FromSoft hidden bosses are. I remember I was doing a stream, and they're like, "Have you fought the Hidden King yet?" They're like, "No, you have to do this and this and this." They had to guide me through it all the time, and eventually I was like, who would figure this out otherwise? Because I hate the FromSoft lore tidbits and stuff like that. It's like, oh, you don't know why they're hidden in a cupboard? Well, I guess you didn't farm rusty spoons for 2 hours to see the flavor text on them. I guess that's why you don't know.
Yeah, I watched like an hour-long lore video after I'd finished it because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. It's like, it's not that complicated, but it's because every bit of dialogue is like, oh, doth the Elden Ring bear upon the battlefield? Like, speak English, motherfucker. Like, it's a language. Use it.
Everything is just cryptic, and you have to like see these flavor texts for lore about anyone.
Yeah, it's very it's very high fantasy and my lord doth hastert, etc. And I was just like, I don't fucking know what's going on here, but it was fun. Yeah, I beat Melania. She took, I want to say 3 hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours. So not too bad.
Oh my God, you are so persistent.
Fred, have you beat Expedition 33 yet? No. Well, the hardest boss in that took me 8 hours. So, yeah.
Good times.
So Melania was relatively tame in comparison, and the attempts are much faster. But yeah, I finished that, and then I've been playing a lot of News Tower. I don't think I'd mentioned this before.
News Tower is I played the demo, and I've been thinking of getting that one because it's a really cool game.
Yeah, I played the beta for the 1.0, and it's so good and so addicting. And like I'm just getting to the point where I can get like photographers and stuff, and it's just it's so fun. It's so fun. And it's like actually relatively challenging as well. Like it's not just, even on normal difficulty, it's not just like super easy to just be successful. You need to actually like, all right, you know, I'm gonna buy a big thing in this day, and then I need a lot of money in like reserve to like account for me having to build all this stuff and there being a delay. And then like in the later game, like your reporters can go out and like get injured or get lawsuits and stuff, and then that requires them to like sit around. It's great. Really, really, really recommend that. It's fantastic. And then the last one, sorry, go on.
No, it's a great, like, what do you call it even? Like, this is partly economical colony sim almost, so that's it's just it's a really good game though. I really like the demo when I tried that one.
It's hard to really explain what it is. So, brief synopsis for anyone that doesn't know: you have a news tower where a newspaper works, and you send out your reporters, and they go collect stories, and then they're typed up. You need people for the whole process. You need people like finding the stories, reports going off, people to make the story, people to assemble the paper, and then at the end of the week, you assemble the paper, and depending on the topics, you can like combine them to get extra bonuses, and that results in more sales, which is more money, which means you can expand, etc., etc. And then you can like get favor in the 1.0 with like the mafia and the governor and all sorts of stuff. It's great. Yes, very rich recommend that. And then the last thing I've been playing is Jedi Survivor.
It's a
fun game, but I had to like turn it all the way up to the hardest difficulty because coming off the heels of Elden Ring, I was like, wow, this is piss easy.
Yeah.
But
it's okay. It's Dark Souls-esque on the highest difficulty.
I feel the combat is like weirdly floaty. I don't know if it's because I'm using the dual swords, but I just like press a button once and he's like, I'm like, just chill. Attack when I press attack.
100% agree. I did like the one-handed one most of the time, just because that felt the coolest.
Yeah, but fun game, enjoying it. I'm only like, how far into this am I? 7 hours, and I've kind of just been wandering around for most of that. But good game so far. I've been enjoying everything. Oh, I also played a really little game called Fill the Hole, which is not
emotional or physical.
Fill up the hole.
I need to do something to fill up my god hole inside of me.
Yeah. Thank you for the mod link.
For those who know that reference.
It's just like an idle sail build. I was pretty. I just thought like a day where I was just like super depressed, and I was like, right, this will fill up the hole in my heart, and it did. Nice little idle clicker. You man like a little colony of these little dudes, and if they throw garbage into a hole, it gives them money. So yeah,
that's cool.
Good fun.
Nice.
Yeah, that's me. But if we're all done, the question I wanted to ask was something that I talked about with my friends last night. Is what is the game that's like scared you the most in like horror games, if there is one? Like playing it, you were just like, I don't really want to be playing this right now because of how much it's.
Alien Isolation, easy.
Fair enough.
I hated that game with so much.
I don't really get scared that easily. I think the last time I got like really really scared was I was like 12 or something like that, and I was my friend got to live in like a barracks with electricity out in the middle of the woods, and we were playing Resident Evil 3, I think it was, on the Nintendo 64 or something, and we were like really into it, and then we hear like the rocks and stuff like that starting to like shift outside, and then we just like look out the window, and a moose just is that close to the window. He sort of looks into us, and we're like, it's trying to hide.
Yeah, that doesn't happen in the UK.
I would definitely say Alien Isolation. There are so many points in that game where I was basically shitting myself. There's this particular bit where you're in a room and there's two like androids walking around doing, saying stuff like, I know you're there. And you're like, oh my fucking God. And at the same time, you can hear the alien like out of vents. And I was like hiding underneath a desk being, I just don't want to go anywhere. I'm just going to stay here for the rest of my life. And then eventually I made a run for it, and I got out into the corridor, and I started moving forward. And I saw the alien come out of the vent in front of me, and there was nowhere to hide apart from like this box basically to my left. So I like ducked and hid behind it, and I could hear the alien's footsteps coming up behind me. And then it like went, and I could see it, and it kind of like stood there right to my right, and then spun around, and then walked back again. And for some reason, didn't see me. And I basically shit myself and then just ran for the exit. That entire game was horrifying.
I played Alien Isolation on the hardest difficulty first time, and that was a mistake because it gets so gamified. It's crazy. It's like completely different.
Yeah, horror is scary up until the point it becomes frustrating.
Yeah, because first of all, like the alien will always be around you, right? It doesn't leave as per se. So you kind of have to sprint from location to location. I know some bastard man in the comments will comment on this. This is a common complaint. It's not just me. I had to look this up because this is like, if you play it on the hardest difficulty, it gets very different. It's a very different game to play.
Both fair answers.
I do. There is one bit towards the end of the game where it's like an S corridor, and there's a room on one side and a room on the other, but there's windows all the way down this corridor, and this corridor is like it's as wide as a person.
Oh no.
And you have to, so the alien's around, you have to go through this corridor and around and then into the other room and then down, and then you have to do something, and then she's like, oh no, the power's out, I need to get, and you're like, I know exactly where the power is, it's over the other side. So then you have to go all the way back, and then you do that, and then you have to go all the way back again, and about halfway around that last bit, the alien saw me through the window. It was in one of the rooms, and it kind of like looked around and just went, there you are, and then you just heard him like running up behind you, just hear him pounding behind you. It was so horrible. I died, but just that game is just it's just the worst, and yet also really good.
Yeah, I had to come around to finishing that, but I think for me is the prison part in Silent Hill 2. It's just so like you are just in the dark for so long, like without like you go to hospital and it becomes nighttime, and then it is nighttime for me for like the next 10 hours. It was just pitch black, and in the prison you can just hear like there are just monsters everywhere in all of the cells, just like making insane noises and shuffling around, and I was just like, please leave me alone, I want to get out of here, I'm so scared. It's so oppressive. It stresses me out. Like, when you just go in a safe room and you're like, I'm not going out, I'm staying here, this is far enough.
I think that like another one where I got really unnerved was in Resident Evil The Village, when the Vor baby is hunting you down through the little like basements.
Oh yeah,
that was unnerving.
I like a good weeping angel enemy. I think that was in the Village DLC, wasn't it? It's like it only moves when you're not looking at it. So you're like round a corner, and then you'll just hear it go, and then it'll peek its head round, and then you have to keep staring at it. I do need to play those games, but I saw probably Jerma play them, and he was just like freaking the fuck out. Understandably so.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, like horror games that like actually scare you so difficult, or like horror in general, because like if you die once in a horror game, you're immediately like, oh, I'm fine, I'm not dead.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but when I was playing Alien Isolation, the anxiety. If I knew I was caught, I was like, oh god damn it! But like the anticipation, like going up, like if I'm trying this bit again, and I'm like I know how I died last time. I've still got that anxiety of what was that sound? Was that what I thought it was? Is he just going to appear in front of me?
Yeah, I think this the stuff that like makes me like my heart just like pound is just overstimulation. It's like when I was playing Soma, there's a bit where it's so loud and there are just monsters crawling everywhere. And the monsters in that game are like, they're not particularly threatening. You can just sprint around them very easily. But it's just like, oh, just please stop making so much noise. I want to get out of here.
I've not tried Soma, but I must, because I've heard the story is really good.
It's phenomenally good. It's one of the most like conceptually horrifying games that I've ever seen. It's just thinking about it. Ugh, yeah, it's not good. That's the stuff that freaks me out. Conceptual horror.
Mm.
But yes, that was my question. Thanks for indulging me. That was good fun.
I love to indulge you.
Yes, same.
Thanks for that. Right, well done. Is there anything else anyone would like to add?
Anything else? What's the ad?
Anything else? I don't know.
This is a podcast. It's not a prison sentence.
Me and Fred watched Fantastic Four. It's good.
Yeah, I like this. I'm a big comic book nerd. For people who haven't noticed, I'm like, yeah, I enjoy this. It's, I would have wanted one against Mole Man or some shit like that. They always go with super high stakes with shit and don't know where to go from there. Like, oh yeah, first movie, Galactus.
Yeah.
Next one, I don't know. Like, fucking start with Mole Man for some at some point. That's what I want to watch. Mole Man.
Did you think Pedro Pascal did a good job as Reed? Because everyone was saying he was too. He's a bit too handsome and hunky. I kind of want my Reed to be a bit more.
I don't know. Like you have to remember that. Reed Richards, like everybody in the comics always comments on how beautiful like Sue is, right? But like Reed's can guess girls like that. He is like comic books, like heroes and villains are usually like insanely pretty, like very, very pretty.
Well, Pedro's a perfect fit then.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Reed is one of those that I haven't cared about too much because he's like, you know, he's stretchy and he's the smartest man on earth. That's like his thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Good film. Liked everyone, all the main cast, just right. Yeah,
I liked it as well. It was cool. It was a little bit. Well, I mean, like, it was cool.
Was that a spoiler or was that just you complaining?
I liked it. It was very, you know, like Fantastic Four is one of those. I don't really give a shit about it. It's like every time they do Fantastic Four, it's like every time they do X-Men and then do Dark Phoenix, and they don't understand Dark Phoenix, and she's not interesting at all either. It's just a shit character usually. Fantastic Four is like, yeah, they're okay. I don't know.
It's pretty funny that it took them 4 tries to get a good one.
For Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
I mean, the first one was
well, they're
right. Okay. You got Jessica Alba in this.
Yeah, and
You're too young. You're too young. Okay,
I watched those when I was a kid. Don't at me.
You don't understand Jessica
Chris
Alba.
Evans was in it. I know that. And then the guy who in Gotham becomes the Butcher or whatever his name is, he's in it.
It's going to be interesting though, see what they're going to do with Doctor Doom, because my favorite iteration of Doctor Doom is that he wears the mask because he thinks he's horribly disfigured. But like, yeah, one version of him is just like have a tiny scar, and it's like, my beauty is forever marred. I will have this mask on now.
It's meant to be RDJ, like, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, that's weird, super weird. But it's supposed to be like a variant of Tony that becomes. Or whatever. I don't actually know who gives a shit.
Yep, true.
But I definitely think they fumbled Doctor Doom though. It's a lot of stuff that they're fumbling right now with that. I still like him though, so I'm not going to complain too much.
Yeah, I think they I think this is just obviously a complete side tangent before we wrap up, but like I think they're just like upset that every film isn't doing as well as Endgame. But it's like, yeah, that was like built up for like over 10 years. It's never gonna like you're never gonna match that unless you do it all over again.
But numbers go down.
I know.
You can't let the numbers go down.
Yeah, Thunderbolts I thought was pretty cool, but also like it's a movie with like what they had one dude who had been in a movie before. No, yeah, one dude, right? They had the Winter Soldier had been in a movie before, and the rest of them were like new dudes.
Yelena and the Hopper from
that's
Stranger
true.
Things. They were in Black Widow. That film was good. And Taskmaster.
Oh yeah, true. I mean, like Taskmaster.
The other guy was
my boy Taskmaster. He's so funny in the goddamn comics. In the comics, he's like the number one shit talker. People might think it's Deadpool, but like he shit talks so goddamn much, and he's just hilarious all the time. And then they're like, oh yeah, it would translate well on mute. We didn't try that for X-Men Origin.
They've done it before. Again. How do they not learn?
Yeah, it's just crazy. She could have. They could have just made her, funnier, and it would have probably worked. But he's hilarious in the comics.
Right, that's enough.
Yeah.
Boom.
Fairly short episode today, guys. But what do you want? There's enough to talk about.
That's good.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll have more to talk about once we have the QOL Life update and maybe some more, talk about the next faction in DLC because we're still there. We're just waiting for.
Yeah, the quality of life is meant to be end of this month.
Yeah, this month sometime, which might mean end of the month.
I thought the last race had been announced. I thought it was
High Elves.
Yeah, but we haven't had but we haven't gotten a showcase for it. Space.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. They did say it's Aelin Seafarer.
So that was right. I'm ready. They were right.
God.
Yeah, like the leak said. It's yeah.
10 times DLC. Here we come.
It's coming.
But we'll see what happens in the future, and we'll definitely be here to talk about it as well. No, wait, I shouldn't jinx it. Actually, well, hopefully we'll be here. Hopefully. Look forward to the Clash, Eris, and we'll see your cute faces next time.
Ooh.
I'm Nerd Fred, and with me, my co-hosts, Colonel Damders and Monster Bounds.
Bye.
Bye. I'm waving
for now.
Bye.